coming on with a cold. All right, good morning, everyone. It's Albert Kaufman. I'm your teacher today. We're going to talk about how to use Facebook. And I've been teaching classes on social media and email marketing and digital marketing for the last 15 years. And you may hear me cough a little bit today. It feels like I'm about to come down with what everybody else in my world has right now, so that's too bad, but that's what it is. And I'll be happy to take your questions and to hear from you as we go along. You're welcome to unmute yourself. You're welcome to put things in the chat. I can handle all of that. So as we go along, if you have a burning question and you really need to have answered, usually that doesn't happen that much, but you are absolutely welcome to do that. All right, without further ado, I'm just going to dive right in. I kind of come at Facebook from the approach that we're using social media and really anything that's like social media, YouTube, LinkedIn, Nextdoor, Alignable, anything. I'm often using these tools to build my email list. So a moment ago I put in the chat information about I will be recording this Cal, yes, and you'll see it as an announcement in Alignable and in other places as well. But anyway, I use all of these different tools for building my email list because email marketing is the #1 form of digital marketing, and so I am basically using these. I use Facebook for other things too, as I'll show you, but I generally am a lot of the time just wanting people to join my email list, and that's the way I keep them up to date with whether it's classes I'm teaching, or I have a family list, or I have many lists of people, and I use an email marketing program, Constant Contact, which I'm going to show you in just a little bit about how that interfaces with Facebook. So right off the bat, I want to share with you something that that everybody should know about that does use Facebook, and it's called Facebook Purity. And this is an app excuse me, that everyone can use to basically customize Facebook. So I've already installed it, but I'll put it in the chat for you. And I recommend that you get familiar with this. This is a wonderful app that when I go into Facebook, I can do things. So here's the link for it, and this is a bit of what Facebook Purity is about. So I can hide things. Let's say I want to hide whatever. I can do that. I can choose whether or not to hide sponsored posts. I can adjust different things within Facebook and just really customize it so that I'm seeing more of what I want to see and less of what I don't. So for instance, advertising. My brother's traveling to Ireland. Yeah, that's one of the things that I use Facebook for, is keeping tabs with my brother. He's a world traveler and loves Ireland. So Facebook Purity, as I just showed you, it's very powerful. It allows you to really customize Facebook in a way that is unusual, and it works on all different browsers. You can just go crazy and really customize things to your heart's content. And you could see, you might even want to screenshot what I have done, because I have hidden options like stories, games and app posts, people I may know. Yeah, so that's just right off the top something that I recommend people know about and perhaps get familiar with and use. So when it's time to actually post on Facebook, let's say we'll start right off the bat with here's here's a post that I would do if I was trying to build my email list. And there you go. So now this is my sign up link for, well, I'll show you. This is a sign up link for kind of like my top 10 newsletters that I send out. You can see it's grabbed this particular preview. I can change the preview if I want to. I can delete the preview. But also what I can do is I can come in here and click on next. I can also do all sorts of things and add to what I'm doing here. But you know, this is more photos. This is tagging people in the post. This is sharing a feeling or activity, which I actually think is pretty good. I'm feeling happy. Where am I? These are all ways to add a little bit of, you know, context to what I'm doing, but it also probably improves the SEO that I'm including my business name here, even though my business name is Albert Ideation. So those are just some things that I can do with this particular post. And now here is something that's kind of newish, but now I can click next, and I can change it. Instead of sharing it to my own profile, I can add it to other places. So here are some of my Facebook pages, and let's say I'm going to add it to these three. I click on post, and I'm all done. And so if someone wants to sign up for my newsletter, they would click there, and boom, they get a landing page that is, you know, explains what people should do. I'm asking for an email address and first name. I always ask for the first name because I like to personalize my newsletters. I ask for people's birthday because I have this fun birthday list, and people can sign up for that. So it looks like this is even more than 10, 3, 6, 9, 12 different newsletters that I share. And, you know, I'll have different responses to this. Someone might come into this one and maybe do 2, but a lot of times someone will do 5, or maybe they'll just do the birthday list. So, you know, it really depends. So that's just a typical post that one might do on your personal page if you wanted to build your email list. You can also take this and then share it on. I can share it to via Messenger with somebody. There's my brother, or Stuart. So I can copy the link to it. I'm not quite sure what that does, but we'll see. So if I do that, what does that do? That brings us to Facebook and the actual posts that I have posted. So that's kind of fun. If you'd like to, that's very interesting. Yeah, if you'd like to connect with me on Facebook, there's the post I just posted. And you can friend me if you'd like to, or at least also just see what this piece of content is all about. Well, here's something interesting, right? So now I've got it there. What would happen if I go to LinkedIn and I post it? Well, we're going to see. So now I'm on LinkedIn. It's loading a preview. So posting it there. Interestingly, I think Alignable, which a lot of you are on, we'll see if that's a possibility. This is what I love. You know, teaching a class and finding kind of a new way to show something or experience something. I'm not sure how to introduce this really. Okay, so Alignable will only post certain links, and so even though I have posted this here and it's doing what I'm hoping it's supposed to do, I know that Alignable is getting more and more hesitant to share links that are taking you off of its platform. So it's very happy to share, for instance, the event link for today's class, but it doesn't seem to like my website links, for instance. So here is, for instance, today's class. If I post that, um, and by the way, for those who are wondering if it's being recorded and where they can find the recording of what we're talking about today, it'll be right in here, and it'll be an announcement. Yeah. All right, so back to Facebook. So yeah, we showed this off. That's very interesting that you can just grab the link to that. And then there were other ways to share as well. So I can share to a group, for instance, or I can share to a page. Now we just saw one way of sharing to a page. Excuse me. Sharing to a group, I'm not going to do that right now because, let's see, should I do that? Yeah. We'll leave that off. It's very much like what I just did with the other one, but sharing to a page is a little bit different because you pick your page and then you go deeper down into it, and it causes you to switch profiles into your fan page. And there you go. And now if I wanted to, I could also do advertising off of this post, but I'm not going to do that. But now what's interesting too is that it once I've done this post, you can see now that I'm in a different account. I'm in the account of my fan page. So for instance, if I click on Facebook from here, now suddenly I think I'm in my fan page. And if I'm in my fan page, there's all sorts of things that I can do from here. You could see I just posted this. It's going to obviously take me to the same place that I just went to. But now we're in fan pages, so this is a good transition time to get over here. This is actually how I started my business about 15 years ago. It's 2008, so 12, yeah. No, 16 years ago. Anyway, this is my fan page, also known as the business page. I've got 2.3 thousand people following, and all that said, as I talked about earlier, in terms of what I'm using Facebook for and what I do on here, in terms of the fan pages, this doesn't really tell you the fact that I have 2.3 thousand followers and 322 following. I don't know what the difference is there, but that all to say that if I post something on this page, nothing really happens. So even doing it, even taking the time to do it is not really that valuable. I could see that more women follow this page by 70 to 30%. That's interesting. But in terms of what's actually happened recently, 54 views on a page where I've probably posted, I don't know, let's say 20 times. It's just not worth the time. But I still do it. And it is possible. Actually, let me show you a little different scenario. So, here's again some more insights into what happens on this page, and it doesn't look very good at all. In fact, I've lost followers. But I want to show you a little different experience where someone was really putting a lot of time and energy into a page. And that was this page. And this is a page having to do with our effort to get rid of gas-powered leaf blowers. And you can see that recently, there's been a bunch of views for this particular post, had a lot of views, and you can see some more. So it is possible if you do really, like what I would say, rock the page. And what was happening here is actually I'd handed over the reins of this page to someone, and she just went crazy with it. She went into all these different, first of all, she found relevant content to the people who follow the page. She used a lot of hashtags. She went into all these different Facebook groups and pages and posted in them. And look at that. She had 800 person reach for this one. And there's no advertising. And after a while of doing this, well, you can see the dates, November 17th. So in one day, she posted, like 10 times in different places. And she was really going for it for like about a month. And you could see that she had quite good results in doing that. And then after doing it for a month, she got very burned out and just dropped it. I mean, she didn't drop it. I don't mean to sound like there's no fault at all for her. Look at that. 35, 45, and reach. So what was this post? Let's go take a look. Grief blower. Oh, interesting. So now one could take this since it's had a lot of great response. Excuse me. And one could take this and, really go forward with it. Like for one thing, maybe share it again. That's easy. And maybe share it in a group. So, these are all the different groups that she joined, but here's one. So we'll just post it in there. Anyway, this is an example of like what's possible when you are actually doing more in-depth work with a page. And even though she did all of this, and now we're back to November 14th. So in the span of 3 days, she did all of this posting and really in fact, I'm going to actually have to go through and look at all of these and just to see all the good stuff that she found because it's brilliant. But not everybody has that kind of time, and maybe your business or your efforts, need to be spent in different ways. So we're going to go back to my main page. This seems like a good point for anyone to ask a question if you got anything that you want to ask. So there's that post, by the way, just landed in my feed. I'm an admin of this particular group. And actually, why don't we just, if I don't have any questions, I will take you down into group level. So this is a group that I manage. And we have a about section over here, and that gives people an idea of what they can do to contact the city about leaf blowers. And then we have a lot of content that has to do with gas-powered leaf blowers and kind of getting rid of them. So in terms of using Facebook, I would say groups are actually the most valuable part of Facebook for me. I tend to use it a lot for organizing people to do things and to make change. And so far, they're just fantastic. They're free. Everyone could find them. You could be invited to join them, etc. Oh, I see that there's some ideas in the chat. Let me see what we got here. Okay, Svetlana says can't friend me. It only gives me an option to message me. Okay, well, hold on to that. We'll figure it out. And then Carolina says, what will you recommend? Photo post or video post? Good question. Great question, Carolina. I neglected to talk about that. But what I will say is that when you post a image, you get a certain amount of more eyeballs. So trying to find something here. Well, let's put this tree up in there. So this picture, for instance, is taken by a friend of mine. It's really just an amazing picture of a couple of trees. So that's going to get a certain number of eyeballs. If you add a video instead, your number of eyeballs goes up exponentially. So Facebook loves video. YouTube loves video. The world loves video. So if I was going to add a video here, and I've done that, if we look at, I think it's here, if I look at the videos and we see, for instance, this was me capturing somebody who was raking. It's a long story. 21 people liked it, 16 people commented on it. So that's a lot of engagement. And so, yeah, so video, sorry about that. Video is beloved by this platform. So that's the answer to that question. And I could talk about that for a while, but that is a simple answer. And then text would be your least looked at form of content. So best is video. Second best would be a picture with text. And then third best would be just text. All that said, it's really more relevant what you're posting about and who you're posting to. So in this group, for instance, people are very active. And so the posts that are in here will tend to get more responses and engagement. Someone says, outside of these courses, what are the best way to learn more about Facebook marketing? I would just probably Google it, or maybe get into an alignable group where the concept is all about Facebook, because then you're going to get more into advertising, which we haven't talked about at all, and which I'm actually, it really depends on what you're advertising, but I mean, I can show you if people are interested, maybe raise your hand or put in the chat that you're interested, and I'll give you a little preview of what advertising is like. But first, what I want to do now is take you into Constant Contact for a second, because one of the ways that I use Facebook is by sharing content via Constant Contact. So I might create a newsletter, let's say, and then I will go into social posts. And there are lots of programs that do this. This is not the only place to do this, but this is one that I really like. So I'm going to just grab some text, and so right here I choose the profiles that I want. I'm going to choose a bunch of them, and then I'll show you a little bit about how this works. So now I'm also adding in Instagram, and I'm also adding in LinkedIn. And I'm just going to use my Albert's newsletter sign-up link. So now you can see, all right, that'll be shared to this Facebook page, that'll be shared to Instagram, and that'll be shared to LinkedIn. Now, I can choose when to post. I'm just going to post it now. But another thing that to consider is you can click on Create Variations, and now I can change the Instagram text. I can change the Instagram link. I can do any of this stuff. I can write with AI if I want to. Just out of curiosity, I'll just click that and see what happens. So, I don't know. Let's say it's a promotion. I was just having a long conversation with somebody today about when and where to use AI. So here's this gigantic long thing for Instagram, but I'll keep it. Why not? Actually, you know what? I'm not going to keep it. I don't really want to say all that. I just want to say that. All right, and so now with Instagram, I'm going to include, I could include a video right there if I wanted to. Okay, not really sure why it's bothering me with that. But here's a picture of a hammock, and I'm just going to put that in there just to save some time. So now Instagram loves the imagery. It also loves videos. LinkedIn actually also does as well. So I could normally do that. But now, okay, I'm posting, and in the time, under a minute, I can post to multiple Facebook pages, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And like I said, there's many ways that one can do this. You don't have to do it through Constant Contact, but what I like is that now I can get back to other marketing. So I can go back to email and create my next newsletter. And then that's going to go out to folks, some of you folks actually. So all of that to say, I feel like this is a good place to maybe take a break and take some questions if there are any. And I will go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, yeah, just to answer the question that was just asked, which is what is Constant Contact? It is a suite of tools that has social media, as well as email marketing. And I just wanted to share something interesting. I decided on Martin Luther King Day to send out a newsletter that went out to everyone that was subscribed to my list, which was a little bit of it was a stretch to do that. It went out to 9,300 people, and here are the open rate and the click rate. It was a very short email. Some of you may have seen it. I'll just show it to you because it's sort of interesting. But basically, I was saying Happy Martin Luther King Day, and I wanted to just share that to celebrate him, also to see an exhibit down at OMSI called Exquisite Creatures, and also to listen to KMHD, which had this really amazing day-long celebration of Martin Luther King, as they do every year. And then I included a couple of videos. And, after doing all of that, I also have this link that I could share on social. And then, as I said, you could see what the reporting is about that. And that's just one email. I had a lot of people unsubscribe, actually, as well. So, and then I can actually go down and look and see who clicked on what. This is the link to the pictures that I took at the exhibit. 191 people went and looked at that. 106 people went and decided to open up the audio player for the radio station I was recommending. And then a number of people looked at the various YouTubes that I shared as well. So that's just a little taste of Constant Contact. If you want to learn more, I'm always teaching classes, and I shared those via the links I'm going to put in the chat, which I think most of you have probably already seen. And yes, Cal, I do coaching one-to-one. And let's see, anybody else ask anything? Is boosting posts for Facebook worth it? Okay, so we'll talk about that in a second, Sherilyn, and a little bit about advertising and Stuart's question as well. So back to Facebook. So there's a difference between a Facebook page and a group. So with a group, let's say here's one of the groups that I manage. It's called We Keep Trees Standing, and it's all about trying to plant trees and also keep the trees standing that are here in Portland and beyond. People are posting things that have to do with trees all over the country, but really it's kind of a Portland-centric group. So what's valuable about the group is I can, there's all sorts of things. I can create events for the group. People in the group can interact with one another. They can find each other. I have this about section that I can point people to join the email list for the group, but also to take action if they feel like taking action. So that's just a little thing about groups. I think they're very good for engagement. They're very good for like long-term effort. So for instance, Stuart, the thing that you're going to do, definitely have a group. There's no question in my mind that that's the way to go with that, because you're going to want to do events, and then you're forming a community, and so the community can come in. Actually, I'll show you something. The Solsara group, which you may be a part of, would be a good example for you of what to do. Basically, it doesn't have as much going on in it, but the about section is pretty robust. And now people who are part of that group are posting events, because Solsara isn't really happening right now, but it did for many years. So if you go back down here and you scroll down, you can see, okay, here's an upcoming workshop, here's an upcoming activity, like that. So definitely you want to be thinking about groups for your effort. Now a page, I'll share with you, this is the page that we looked at earlier. Basically is just a broadcasting platform. So here's the timeline for this page. It all has to do, because this page is like other pages, it all has to do with things that are related to gas-powered leaf blowers. And oh my God, finally this thing is happening. Thank God. So Yeah, so you have your timeline, which nobody sees except the person who actually clicks into the page like I just did. But I can now use this to post out to the world. I can add live video. I could be videotaping this conversation we're having now, adding photos, adding reels, etc. So it's a broadcast tool. And if I look at my own news feed, which looks like this, here's something from, this is a group. This is a group. This is a group. So you don't see very many pages, even though I've liked a lot of pages. You don't see much posting by them in your timeline. So you might have the page just as a sort of Yellow Pages ad, Stuart, but overall you really want to be focusing on spending your time building the group and having that be, I would recommend doing it that way. Okay, now we had some questions about advertising. I will just take you down a little bit of that. Let's see. So let me think about how to do that best. So you can't advertise from your own page, but you can from one of your fan pages or business pages. So if I come down here, here's my newsletter sign up link, and I click on Boost Post, I get into this space where it's pulling from my ad account. You have to set that up to even go down this far of a path. Okay, doesn't like my ad blocker, but whatever. And then you can come in here and you can customize to your heart's content. You can change how much you're sending, how much into the world you're sending this out to. You can change your audience details. This is very interesting. So let's say I just want all men and women from these ages. I could say I just want to advertise to men. I could save that audience. And now it's changed that. I can also say people I choose through targeting, and now I can adjust that as well. So you can do some adjusting here. It really wants to publish. Look at that. It's just waiting to take my money. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that at all. So I'm not going to do that. But this just gives you an idea of some of the quick advertising that you can do. This right here is very interesting. This is called a pixel. And what it is it's a piece of code that is on my website that every time somebody who's logged into Facebook goes to my website, they are added to this pixel. And so I can run advertising off of this pixel as well. Yeah, I hope that explains what the pixel is. But basically, it's a piece of code that you generate through Facebook. You take that code, you put it on your website, and then you forget about it. And you never actually can see who is in that list of people who have done that, have been to your website while logged into Facebook. For me, it's probably thousands of people by now. So actually advertising to that group, and just advertising to that group, or what's called a lookalike group, is not a bad idea, because those are people who have obviously shown some interest in my business. All right, so that's just a little bit about advertising. There's advertising also that you can go down into a rabbit hole where you can customize ads to really go way deeper than that. So you can create an ad. I'll just give you a little taste of this because I could just do a whole class just on advertising. And I'm actually personally not, I don't believe that Facebook advertising does all that much, but it's certainly available and it's very interesting. So you can do all of these different things, but really once you click on one of these, now let's say I wanted to get more subscribers. Now it's going to take me down into another level of rabbit hole, where Let's say I wanted to use a particular post. Uh, let's say can I choose this one? Okay, yeah, it says I can use it. So now it's starting to build the ad. It's looking, that's the ad. It's not much of an ad. And it also leads to sending me a message. So I can change that all up. I can change the media. I can change the headline. I can change the budget. I can come in here and just go crazy with choices. And now really interesting is all the different things that you can do in terms of who you're trying to reach. And it can get pretty crazy. You can target someone who's bought a home within the last 10 days, who's a male, who's 35 to 36 years old and lives in this zip code. So it's that kind of level of detail, and it can just really get crazy, crazy, crazy. So that's just a little piece of the of how that works. So I want to say thanks so much. Everyone's been hanging out for 40 minutes, and that's wonderful. A couple more things in the chat. Cheryl says, I've been told that a Facebook group is better for sales than a business page. I think that's probably true. It really depends with these tools, how you use them. But like, for instance, the answer that I'm giving is because I see a lot of people who are, let's say they're doing classes like I'm doing. So I could have a Facebook group that's just for people who have come to the classes or people who have signed up for Constant Contact, and like meet with them once a week and let them know how to meet with me via the Facebook group. And I have colleagues that are doing that, and I think it's very beneficial. So yes, I would agree with you. And I think it's important to have both. Cal asks how many groups you can have. I don't know that there's any kind of limit. And then Sherilyn asked, is boosting posts for Facebook worth it? I would say I would give it a try, spend $10 and see what your response is. I'm not generally seeing that type of approach is doing much. My brother is doing advertising. You probably saw his name pop up in the advertising world that I showed you. And that is leading to him, getting a lot of eyeballs, but it's not necessarily leading to sales. Let's see, is there a way to separate your Facebook friends, followers based on the city, country they're in? That's a good question. You can create friends lists and do that on, where people are. It's very time consuming, but you can definitely do it. Yes, I have an article about that on my website. If you look up albertideation.com/lists, I believe, or it might be FB lists, it's the details of how to do that. Tonya, thank you so much. She said, great presentation. Thank you very much. And Cal says, when are you doing the next class? Probably in the next, I would say, actually, I might do it next week. So keep an eye on I shared with you some ways to keep in touch. Sign up for a newsletter, particularly the one about how to use Constant Contact. That's the one that I tend to write out to, but I actually didn't write out to it today. I just thought I would see who came via just mentioning it on Alignable, and you are those people. So thank you so much for today, and I'll stick around and answer more questions if people have them, but I think I'm going to stop the recording. It's been a pleasure.